Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Adamant Cup tournament. Today, we are bringing you the tiebreaker race for the Crystal Ring group with Saradin versus Sylverfyre versus Xenocat. Should be an exciting race. All three of these runners currently at 4-1 at top of the standings, and the winner of this race will be the winner of the group. My name is Rex Raoul, and I'm joined in the booth by Infinius. Infinius, this is a big race that we're seeing today, isn't it?
It is going to be great. Getting towards getting to the bracket stage of this tournament, and I am looking forward to seeing who is going to join a whole bunch of excellent runners into the brackets. Just to clarify a bit further, this is all that matters in terms of the result here is who wins, because no one's getting eliminated. Whoever wins will be winner of the group, and then be placed into brackets facing Martin Broadcloak, and then the two people who do not win this race will then have to play another play-in race, and the winner of that play-in race will then be matched up against Woo Bear on the other side of the bracket.
So yeah, I mean, it's not going to be an easy path either way that you go, but you do get one race off if you win tonight, basically.
Yes, and just being able to lock in your path to brackets is better than giving yourself a second shot to maybe not make it.
Without a doubt. And so once again, we are going with the flags that we've been using up to this point in this event, the group flags. And what we're seeing right now are 7 objectives, and we must complete all 7 of them. What do you think about the objectives we're seeing today, Infinius?
The big thing that shoots to my mind is the fact that we have 3 objectives that require the Darkness Crystal. We need to go to the Murasame altar. We also need to go to the White Spear altar and the Ribbon Room. So we basically need to go do a big dive down the subterranean to get at least 3 of our objectives. The other one that springs to mind is that we have 2 objectives that require the hook. So we might be in a spot of bother if we have a Magma Key start, because that hook could be anywhere.
Absolutely. So getting that hook and getting our party moon ready is something that's going to be really big in what the runners are trying to do today. And it looks like everything is ready and our runners are off.
So this is a big start. We have a Porum and an Edge. King Queen Evelyn gives us the Magma Key. I kind of cursed that into existence, I think.
Yeah, we can blame Infinius on that one for sure. So. But Edge is a character that I think a lot of runners feel very comfortable with getting very early in the race.
Yeah. So he starts off at level 20. He can get online very quickly. Now with the C Neki flag on, doesn't come with all his starting gifts. He doesn't start with a black belt, bandana, silver ring, and 2 short swords. But his base stats alone at this point just makes him such a good early game character that he doesn't really need that much to get going.
And it looks like we're immediately getting a little bit of separation from our runners as both Xenocat and Saradin heading straight over to Toria to get the key item from Bedward, while Sylverfyre does not waste any time in heading down to Agar to drop that Magma Key and kind of open up that underground. And there's a whole different set of routing or looting available if you go in the underground versus what you traditionally get at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, and this is an interesting call, because one thing if you're going underground immediately, one of the things you probably are looking for is to get an early siren, so you can get and that early siren can help you with getting Berserk onto our Porum. That allows us to then get Berserk online. Just means that we spend less time having more more times having Edge to hitting things with sticks.
When we see the small treasury being looted, the one that you don't need the Earth Crystal to open, not a whole lot for our crew today. It is worth noting that Edward in Toria's bed did just give a defense sword, which will be great if we find a Cecil or a Kane, but without that, it doesn't do a whole lot for our squad right now, other than provide a possibility of a dart.
Yeah, and even then, alternatively, if we're really desperate for money, we could always just sell it. It does sell for, I think, offering around 30 30 something. So that's nothing to sneeze at, when it comes to the game. And there we go. We have found sirens. I believe that is in Tomra. So we might be an early siren might be on the table here. Especially if we are able to find a coffin as well. That means that we can get this poem to berserk really quickly.
Meanwhile, Saradin now following Sylverfyre Underground, whereas Xenocat more going for traditional overworld, and we see them heading right over to Mount Hobbs for a potential character check.
And this is one of the more interesting things about this race is, as I said before, only place that really matters for this race is winning. So you might expect to see a whole bunch of wild gambles just to try to go for first. There's a question of whether you actually go for the safe play versus the risky play, and yeah, this is all going to play out in this seed. And we see really on Hobbs with a Asura defending her. I don't know. This might be a bit of a tough one, but we do have the agility to probably make it so we can probably life block her.
And we see Xenocat like kind of pondering what the strategy is going to be here while waiting for that gray face to pop up, because that is what's going to be the face that we want to use for the life lock. Do you want to explain how that works a little bit, Infinius?
Sure. So basically, when we say by life locking, we are basically exploiting the way Asura script works. So Asura script is basically turn to a face and cast a spell associated with that face. But Asura also has a counter script where if you hit her with damage, she'll basically go back a face and then go back a face. So if you attack, if you have her as her grey face, which is the life one, and then attack her when she's in grey face, she'll spin back to grey face again. No, and
the grey face. Yeah, and the grey face, of course, just casts life 1, which isn't really all that helpful for her. So, yeah, Xenocat employing that strategy, and it is able to take down the mage and get Rydia as the character.
Yeah. So meanwhile, back for Saradin and Sylverfyre, we have the tower key from the Feymarch 3V. So if we're not doing this tower keyless at the very least, but we might see our runners choose to do a spicy game where they fade the top of tower, just to save time that way.
And we see Hourglass 2s in the shop here in the Feymarch, and that's something that could be used in tandem with those sirens to take out an egg earlier than you might be able to naturally. And Xenocat... Xenocat gets Indra as the summon for Mount Hobbs from the Hobbs flag that's available in this flag set.
Oh, meanwhile, we see in Feymarch we have a mist dragon at the Sur spot and some dark imps in the Leviathan spot. That's pretty free. That's a quote unquote free fight as long as we get an hourglass. The problem is surviving the free punches that those dark imps will hit once they get stopped. Might be waiting until we have at least 4 characters before we even consider doing that fight.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, that is a very punchy spot. We're not likely to see anyone at this point survive.
Although it looks like Saradin's healing up, wants to give it a shot, so I think Saradin's about to learn just exactly how punchy these imps are. The hourglass is there. And yeah, that is a lot of damage that they're dealing.
Yeah, that was just a casual 1k to 1,800 damage to Poem, a casual 1,100 to Edge, and that is a reset. So interesting thing what's happening on Syl side of screen is that we are actually in fact getting that the egg being burned. We've already used an hourglass to try to get to make sure that this egg will not crack. Last thing we want to do with our pirate display stage is to make sure that summon the yellow dragon that it will create and cause us some issues with the lightning counters upon hits. But there you go. We are through. I believe that should be enough to get Berserk. There it is. There's exits. There's heal. There's all the fun spells, the early utility spells that a white mage really gets her up and running really quickly.
Yeah, this Magma Key start, along with the items that have been available in shops, has been just a real kind of just like a jump start for readiness in this now. And so now basically they can route this blue planet however they want. You're not, with this kind of influx of experience, you don't need to be beholden to making sure you're doing things in more or less the storyline order because you're gaining your experience as you go. Now you can really pick and choose where you want to go.
And also Saradin, doing the good job there. Spouting, I see our job dwarf is in fact an agricultural engineer.
Yeah, I believe Syl checked that as well, but yeah, it's really nice to see the job dwarf getting a little bit of respect here. As Syl does fly over to Dwarf Castle, we'll see if this is for just some more shopping, or if they're ready to check the boss as well.
I think going for Dwarf Castle here would be a very bold play. With only 2 characters, that is a very punchy spot. It's not to say it's not doable. It'd just be a very challenging depending on what happens to be there.
We do see ninja swords available in the weapon shop. I didn't see everything else, but I know that they're very expensive but very strong for edge.
Yeah, I mean, with the fact that we've already purchased a full moon for edge, so we can make use of the back row glitch. That edge is basically online now. Like it's basically ready for endgame if necessary. Like we only need a shirt or some sort and probably a headband to make that work, challenging.
And welcome to all the raiders from the Free Enterprise channel. We are right at the beginning of the Crystal Ring tiebreaker game between Saradin, Sylverfyre, and Xenocat. Hope you enjoy.
Yeah, so just to catch you up, we had a starting Magma Key. Our bedroom gave us a defense sword, and the only other thing we've really seen is that I believe it was Xenocat is up Iridia, having obtained her by defeating the boss at Mount Hobbs, and after that we are just crisscrossing all over the place. And this is what I talk about in terms of like making gambles. Saradin is going up the lower Babel. Might actually just be going for just the cannon room check and leaving, and it's probably going to fade top of tower at this point. This is one of those plays that you'll definitely make if first place matters only, and might be really risky otherwise.
But we've also seen Saradin be fearless. He's already gone and tried to fight those dark imps at the Leviathan spot, but it looks like you're right. We might be seeing this, what we call the Penguinator special, in honor of one of the members of the community famous for only going halfway up the tower. And we see the Karate Man here. This is a very low HP spot, so it shouldn't be too difficult for Saradin to take out here. Meanwhile, Sylverfyre is the first one to head to the bottom of the Antlion Cave, and so we're going to get another boss check and a key item check down here too. We see a blue robe, only one, so this should be the water hag, right?
Yeah, that's in fact the water hag. Three hits, and we're through. Doesn't matter what kind of hits they are, as long as we hit this water hag 3 times, we get to trigger. We'll trigger its boss script, and we'll progress through to the end. Yep, Porm gets the second hit in, and after that, and we are basically through.
Looks like Xenocat is going down to Silk Cave. Got surprised by a couple of monster chests. Wanted to get some cheeky looting in there, but the monsters were guarding the early chests in this cave, and that was a little bit unfortunate. But Xenocat looking to set up the first Sheila check in Kabul. Sylverfyre rewarded with a Zeus Gauntlet, which is pretty nice, but other than that tower key and the starting Magma Key, we have been coming up empty on key items so far.
I mean, having said that, we haven't really made that many checks. We have only made, 4 checks total, so it's hard to complain about not having seen many key items when we've only made a few. But we're going to get another one with Saradin, having destroyed the super cannon, has left the tower lower barrel and is rewarded with a pink tail. So, okay, so not progression, but it really depends on where that hook is now. If we do get an early hook, that is going to be a big game changer for Saradin. He's going to get himself an adamant armor, and that adamant armor is going to really break the seed open.
Right, but it's also not the sort of thing that you really want to get when you're gambling on that early half tower play like that either. Because what you'd really like is some progression or something you could use right away. Now, there is a possibility, because we're going to see this for full defense on two of our runners' screen in Sylverfyre and Xenocat. Like you said, it could still pay off, because if it is that early hook, then you're right, that is a huge advantage for Sarah.
But yeah, we see here at full defense we're fighting Dark Elf, so I imagine that we're going to see a bit better time for Sylverfyre, because we're going to have Berserk. That edge is also basically online with Full Moon, Ninja Sword, Zeus Gauntlet. No, edge is just going to go to town and we're done. Whereas Xenocat without the levels, without Berserk, is going to take us a bit longer. But yeah, so our reward for defending for Wolf Defense from that nasty Dark Elf is in fact a Vampire. So definitely not required. In fact, the best thing might be useful right now is selling, given that we have a sliding edge. But it's possible that we have a very good value, much more value with Sheila 1 holding the goods, and she in fact is holding a vanilla pan. You love to see this, because that means that you could not avoid the double dip of Syl.
Yep, that is absolutely true. And now it looks like we're probably going to be going back to Sylph Cave sooner than later for both Syl and Xenocat here. See Sylverfyre making use of the in-game tracker to double check those objectives there before deciding on a next course of action. And Saradin about to get rewarded with that Zeus Gauntlet there at the bottom of the Antlion Cave.
So we need to see whether we turn that pan in immediately, and it looks like Syl is opting not to. It looks like we're doing Baron in first. As it's an interesting play. And we see some Mega Sisters guarding everyone's favorite bard. But
yeah, this might have been a play where Syl wanted to get another character in his squad before doing other things, and so wanted to make a pit stop here. We'll see if Xenocat makes a similar play, and yeah, they're going to that same Baron Inn right now.
Yeah, I suppose this kind of makes sense if you need to head back underground, because that way you can just pop another Siren and go from there. And okay, this is probably where having levels on Syl's side is going to come into help a lot here. That is a rude Kainatsu fight. That is very punchy. So having Berserk here means that Syl is probably going to have a way easier time of it compared to what Xenocat's about to have.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. I think that's going to be quite a. I think that egg that Syl did early is paying off already pretty strongly.
Yeah, and also not just that, but also having committed to shopping for better gear, and we've rewarded with a White Spear. So we know we need to beat the vanilla White Spear also, but getting a White Spear does not give us that objective, unfortunately.
Yeah, we need the altar, not the spear. So, yeah. That's a tad unfortunate. Yet another non-key item there.
So it's kind of it's actually interesting at this point, because we're actually with what we know so far, we are actually very quickly running out of spots that are unavailable, which have not been checked yet. I guess Syl they never checked Bedwood, so he's about to get their defense sword, but all we have left available to us, what we don't know about is Ordeals. We don't know what's at the top of tower, we don't know what's at Dwarf Castle, and we don't know what's in the Fame March.
Yeah, question in the chat. I think it was answered, but just in case people are listening and are curious or coming in late, especially with the Raiders, the question was: so winner of this wins group, and then the other two play the play-in match later, or just one to advance in respective spots? And the answer is the other two will play in a play-in match later. So the winner goes directly to brackets. The other two will have the play-in race to be the runner-up and also make brackets. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, so Xenocat is through that Dwarf Castle, is going to get their White Sphere, and it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. Meanwhile, we have Sylverfyre going up Mount Ordeals. Like I said, it's one of the specs we haven't checked. It's also required to make sure that if we do find a potential Cecil, we are able to leverage Cecil's power, as opposed to having, say, a Dark Knight.
And this is also leveraging the egg that Syl cracked earlier in the seed, because getting through the three bosses up here is going to be a lot faster with access to that Berserk and everything right now.
So
you see D Lunars in the first spot here.
Yeah, that's not a bad spot. This is not a bad spot to fight those D Lunars here. We have an edge, so Flame's going to do a fair bit of work here. We also have access, we also start with a whole bunch of Q2s, so we can use that as damage if necessary. We definitely do not want to trigger a fight command, because that will trigger the counter script of virus. But no, we are still is through. Meanwhile, Xenocat is going to turn in that pan.
Yeah, and Saradin has now completed Sheila 1 as well, so has that pan in possession as well. Now we're seeing the pan bonk right now, and that's going to give the first check here on this pan sort of sub route here.
Meanwhile, at top Ordeals, we have some dolls, so this should be a pretty quick fight, and looks like we got the spoon from the pan turn. So that means we're going to have a spoon route available. So we are probably looking at going Berserkers right now, as opposed to anything else.
Yeah, so this is an early Edward and an early Spoon available in this seed, so that's a pretty strong character that you're getting right now, alongside this strong edge that we've got here. And yeah, this team is starting to show up to be a pretty strong Berserker unit.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to also see, given this party, whether we decide to go to do any monster chess in Evelyn. That's been one of the meta plays that's been coming up here and then, of whether to do it or not. Oh, that is a huge pickup for Syl. That is the Darkness Crystal. This Mount Ordeals is hard required. This also gives us access to a gated character, and that given this flag set, that could either be our Cecil we were talking about, or it could be a Fusoya, who's also just as ridiculous at this point in time.
Yeah, if this ends up being one of those two characters, that could be huge. And I'm not sure when the other runners are going to head to Mount Ordeals, but it looks like Xenocat is sitting there right now. That's a good thing for them, because that's going to be the difference maker. Like, you do not want to miss out on Mount Ordeals in this race.
Yeah. So one of the more interesting things, I'm not sure if Xenocat is where that what do you know? So what did weapon Edward started with? Because if that was a dagger of some sort, that Edward is not back road. We need to equip him with a bow and arrow or a harp to be able to have him back road.
Yeah, I did not see that, so I'm not sure, but I think like Xenocat's a very strong player. I think they would know, but I don't know if you saw it in Vegas too.
I didn't. I didn't. I wasn't sure, so that hence me raising it. But I think a run of Xeno's caliber would notice that pretty quickly.
Now we do have some more variants here, as Saradin has decided to go to Dwarf Castle, so going to be missing out on that Darkness Crystal, but this is still a play where this could end up being the hook, and that would be something that would give Saradin an advantage as well.
And if anything, that would be a lot better. That would be a lot better for Saradin than not finding the Darkness Crystal, because Darkness Crystal could be obviously cannot be on the moon, whereas the hook could be on the moon at this point. So
That's true.
At that point, Saradin could know. Well, if it's going to do anything, might potentially last location that darkness crystal, and that would have to go up Ordeals, whereas everyone else might have last location this dark dwarf castle as soon as they hit the moon. Having said that, though, this Rubicante is not an easy fight here. Very punchy, counters with fires. We might actually see a reset at this point because I think that's a Zerked up. Yeah, and that's a reset, unfortunately.
Yeah, we see Saradin as we going for some really big plays earlier. Kind of to your point, Infinius, around at the top of the broadcast where you're saying this might be the sort of race where you want to gamble and do things that might play a little bit less defensively to try to make something a big play to win rather than to not lose.
Okay, and someone from chat has pointed out that Syl's Edward was using a harp, so that would mean that Eddie is in fact back red for Edward for Xenocat as well. So not too worried there then.
And I believe Syl had checked that shop earlier and went back there once they had some more cash on hand to be able to afford the ninja sword, because that is an expensive weapon.
Yeah, but it also we also know that sirens are here as well, so just being able to get a character online is actually worth. We basically almost have an end game party, which really we actually have an Ed and Spoonwood. We have an Edge with double ninja blades. We might actually just be. I think all Syl is looking for is potentially an anchor or another Zerka, and they are done.
Xenocat seeing the big doll on the Calbrina fight on the top of Mount Ordeals, but is able to get through there without too much problem. And Saradin was able to get past that Rubicante. We're going to get the character check, and it's our duplicate, yet another Bard. And yeah, no interest in a second Edward here for Saradin, and Valvalus in the second spot here.
Yeah, this is probably a spot where you do want to see Valvalus here. Only 3,000 hit points, so also is weak to basically the Berserk. So at this point, you're happy enough to get through this and not see her on the moon.
Right, there are definitely places where Valvalus is one of the scariest bosses you could come across. This is not one of those places, so able to get through here. I think this is another one. You see Syl is also in the Dwarf Castle right now, and this is another one of these fights where that extra looting and that extra grinding through the egg is something that it looks like it's going to really favor Sylverfyre in here. Just more firepower to get through the Rubicon, especially.
Although I will make a comment there. I think we might see a wipe here because this Fire 2 is going to take out. Porum. So I've been counting. I think we're at 6k, so it might need only one more damn hit, but it'll be very close.
But the glare came in first. Oh, you were right. That was the wipe. That's unfortunate. So
yeah, just unfortunate there. Probably just needed some more defense levels. Just probably also need to heal up Edward, but I think that it's the right play. Meanwhile, we do have this Dwarf Castle is in fact required. That is our twin half. We needed to complete objective number 1, complete Cave Magnus. And it'll be interesting how we route this now. I think it's the temptation for me would be I'm not sure if Saradin's hit Yang with the pan. But then it's very tempting to just do that and then head back up, go to Sheila 2, and then head east straight to Troya to start that Magnus check.
Another interesting play. Xenocat has decided to go to Evelyn Castle. Found a Zeus Gauntlet there already, and that's a pretty nice pickup, but might be trying to spike a cheeky adamant armor here in one of the trap chests, or it could be just want some more cash. We know that those ninja swords are available in shops, as well as hourglasses and sirens, so there's a lot of reasons that you might want an extra influx of money as well.
There's also another option that I'm not sure is if we all, because one thing, there's one keyword you didn't there's in that list, and that was Barker Swine. Might be thinking about trying to steal Barker Swine from the Mad Ogres and have that be a way to get through the seed as well.
Yeah, there's so many decision points in this particular flags, and I think that's what's made this for a really interesting tournament so far.
Yeah. Yeah, Sylverfyre, got through that that Ruby is about to is about to get that 2.5. It'll be also interesting to see where they go with this as well.
Meanwhile, Saradin, we got that Steelman sculpt fight, yeah.
Yeah. That again should be pretty easy. Our edge is back, especially second. Edge should be back row. It should be able to land 2 shots. This Staleman. But the Berserk. Oh, but the Berserk. Poem got bopped, so the Berserk doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's the problem is that falls asleep part of the strip. Like that edge is not taking much damage, but is also not doing anything when he's asleep.
Yeah, and it'll probably be one to wake up, especially considering it because Edward's not on the field. It might be one until this edge wakes up.
Looks like Saradin wake up. Follow that.
Ooh, that's kind of rough for Xeno. And it looks like we got the Adamant Rock for Tony and Sheila too. So just a key item, not actually required, but if we do find a Cecil anytime soon, that is one half of forging an Excalibur.
Saradin is going to be following that Twin Harp after completing Dwarf Castle and is flying over to Cave Magus once to get that objective number 1 out of the way early. And with a Edward with a spoon and an edge in the party, that seems like something that's completely doable at this time.
Yeah, I would also like to think that Saradin's poem has Berserk as well. So you only need to really Berserk one of those characters to have to get value there. Should be pretty much good to go in that regard. Meanwhile, it looks like Syl is contemplating a tower dive.
Yeah, at this point, especially after we've made a lot of talk about that early egg, but that's a lot more strength that Syl has, and so this might be a full tower clear too, rather than Saradin's half tower dive.
Yeah, and which will be very. So we're going to find how in roughly how much trouble Saradin is going to be in that case, because if that top of tower is required, then I can see Saradin basically last location, especially if it's the hook.
But right now, we are going to take a little bit of time off. We're going to get quiet for a little bit because it's just about time for a little bit of music as we listen to DJ Spoony B's Rockin' Tunes. And I hope you all enjoyed that harp rendition of the Tantalus theme from Final Fantasy IX. I know I did, and an Earth Crystal is a nice piece of reward when you're sitting pretty close to Toria anyways.
Yeah, that is also a good reward for actually having complete Pigmates. Our first objective of this race goes to Saradin. I guess it is very tempting to just route that Earth Crystal in. Also, we might at this point we might consider looking at the treasury. It's still pretty early in. We might want that to open things if necessary.
And Syl at the top of the fire found an annoying mom bomb. Like, it's not super threatening there, but it's really annoying in a high HP place to get that boost of 9,000 HP there, especially when you're doing a relatively early run. But we're into the place where it's just about to explode, and then some of the looks like Edge is already berserked up. So as long as Edge can stay alive to do his attacks, should be through this without too much problems.
That was so we just had rate that treasury. That was in fact an amazing treasury for what we've got right now. I saw 2 masters. I believe there was a mirror as well, a redundant mirror. There was that was an excellent treasury. It kind of also means that if Silk does go to rate that go to treasury, they are probably going to be very low. They shut up that much money for ninja swords when you could just have 2 master units for free. Out than 2 mirrors. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate in that case because this seat has been giving you everything that you want for your Edge.
Also, there was also a curse ring as well. I also almost missed that.
Stardust Rod.
Stardust Rod. Yeah, it was an amazing treasure for what we've got right now, and looks like Xenocat has finished their Evelyn dive. I don't think I saw anything that was of value there. Meanwhile, we also just found out that top of tower is not required, just gives us protect ring. So Saradin is going to be rewarded by having not checked that.
Yeah, as long as Saradin doesn't go back to the tower, and for his sake, I hope he doesn't. But the one place that no one has gone yet is the moon.
Which is interesting because we have 3 objectives there. So it's interesting call. Very tempting. I think for my sake, very tempted to have just gone there a bit sooner. But all their runners are making choices that they think make sense to them. So it all kind of makes sense in that case.
See Xenocat continuing the checking of trap chests, this time in lower battle, has that Thunderclaw for Edge, so it's able to one-shot the searchers. So it's a lot quicker to check these than it would be to check them if you weren't able to one-shot them, but it still is making this climb quite a bit longer than it took Syl to go up there. But if Xeno can be rewarded with an Adamant armor, then it would probably be worth it.
Possibly, it depends on what's brewed on the moon. I mean,
that's true as well.
One other thing is that yes, having Adam armor is good, but the amount of time Xeno is taking to actually get that is I think I'm at the point where I think it's no longer worth it. Like at this all the time that Xeno has taken to actually try to get lucky, they could have been doing objectives or making key item checks.
It's kind of a catch-22 in a sense, because you've already decided I'm going to invest this time to do these trap chests in Evelyn, and then so you've already invested that time. If it didn't pay off, it's like, well, now I'm already behind this time. the only way I know that I can make it up is if I am able to spike an adamant armor somewhere else. So you're kind of put in a position where it's like, I feel like I should do this, but you're right in that it's also longer and longer. How long does it take before you just know, like you've fallen off too much? And so that's just got to be weighing on Xenocat's mind right now because it's just unfortunate, you know?
But meanwhile, we have Saradin through that paled in at the Mega Sister spot, and we found at Zot a Paladin and a Young. So not any characters we're actively looking for. We're already pretty well set with our team, I would think. It's just a matter. We're just looking for upgrades at this point. Yeah, it says that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And Saradin also agrees. These characters are not what we're looking for right now. So. This Mom Bomb is being very rude to Xenocat too. Meanwhile, Saradin sees the Valvalus spot occupied by Dr. Luge and Valnab.
Oh, and that wipe is in fact very unfortunate for Xena because it looks like they actually took the save at the bottom of the tower as opposed to saving halfway through. So we'll have, if they want to, they will have to do all that looting they did on the way up as well. Don't think they actually found anything of note, so probably not going to be too disappointed. But that is a lot of time lost to an unfortunate wipe.
Yeah, that is definitely unfortunate. But looks like it's about time for reprieve, so let's be quiet again so you can hear the music one more time.
So Syl is through our caveman. So it is about to get complete objective number 1. Is about to get the Earth Crystal, and we'll eventually see where they go, whether they also follow and chase that Tower Zot check. Only end up being a pass from it. So kind of a push at this point to say whether it was worth it. The characters didn't end up being good either. So kind of a push in that sense of whether that check was worth it.
In one sense, yeah, but I also think it's kind of nice to have the pass because knowing that there are those 3 checks on the moon, now it's like you go down there and like if that's where you find the hook, it doesn't feel as bad. You could go back to the blue planet after doing your moon check and you can finish up on the blue planet and then take the shortcut there. So I think it's at least peace of mind. I don't think it doesn't end up feeling as much of a waste when you get something that is at least somewhat useful.
Yeah. And we're also getting a treasury check from Syl. Is going to get there to Master Muniz, going to get their curse ring. So a lot of the problems with the seed are pretty much unlocked at this point. Oh, there's another Zeus god. There was a coffin, an apple for a forum if necessary. So yeah, that's this was again a very good treasury for our potential party. And Syl is exiting, so maybe they don't actually consider going up at this point.
I don't know. Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, I think it's really hard in this flag set, especially when it's not super late in the seed, to avoid the gated character checks because Cecil looms large. But in this case, especially after that treasury, I think there's an argument like you're pretty happy with the squad you got now. The question is like, how much do you value Cecil over a Spoonward? I think that's really in a lot of our runners' minds what the question is going to be.
Yeah, and I think it's possibly the other thing that still has on their mind right now is we have the Darkness Crystal. We've only got a few checks on Earth. We have 3 objectives on the Moon. That's where we're going. We gotta go. We've had the Darkness Crystal for God knows how long. Yeah, just go.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense too. So, I think this play is also saying that Syl might be trying to avoid going through the Tower of Zot if possible, because if they were right there in the neighborhood at that point, there's no sense in going back there later,
Yeah. And again, 3 objectives is just so from Syl's perspective, what we have left on Earth is basically Feymarch and that Zot. Compare that to Xenocat, who basically has a lot, who is I hate to say it, has had a bit of a rough time this seed and is probably well back.
Now.
Has Syl done Sheila 1 and 2? Because I think Sheila 1's the Adamant Rock, right? That might be a very spicy gamble. Looks again, it's going to pay off because we don't. It's just 1 half of Forge, so it's not going to be time that not our way to go mode essentially, but potentially a way to a Crystal Sword, a Cecil rather, and that has its own benefits.
The character on the Moon is Kane.
That's an interesting one. I don't know if we take this.
I probably wouldn't. We'll see what Syl decides. I think Syl had actually sold the spoon earlier. So.
Oh. Well, that would make a difference there. Yeah. I suppose the other thing is if we have double Edward, I guess the other thing is that we have a curse ring, so
two Edwards. That's the one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the other thing is that if worse comes to worse, we could rock a very interesting party if Barkus went up for sale of actually having 3 Zerkers going without an Anchor Porum. That would be an interesting party to go for, but I guess we're dumping Spoonwood, so I guess we're putting the curse ring on him. Again, all result given the fact that Syl does not have the spoon. It will be interesting to see. I think from Saradin specifically, looks like did not said no to Kane as well, but is keeping Rydia. But we do see basic perfect synchronization between Saradin and Sylverfyre in diving this moon. This is exciting. Saradin going to do Mirror first.
Yeah, Saradin going top down while Sylverfyre going bottom up.
I think either play is fine. Like you have to go do Murasame Altar as well as the bottom as well. So it just depends on what we hit really. Probably also important to note is that 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Saradin has 9 key items, where Syl has 8, and it looks like we're going to see a Warlock grind.
Some Mute Bell action coming up here. When Saradin reset out of that boss, I didn't see what it was because I was excited for the Warlock grind.
It was a buy-in. It was buy-in, so probably not.
Yeah.
Very, very rude. Probably not something you want to be doing without a grind at this point. So I think Saradin's play is to just looks like it's going to go to Cave Valley instead. Gonna
probably peek the boss and do a gold dragon grind here, probably. Ooh, that
Yeah.
needle wall is not something that anybody's going to want to do here. And here comes another reset instead. And so now back into the lunar subterrane, and we'll see what Saradin's next stop is.
Ooh. Looks like we actually got a double life glitch on the second warlock. So you do love to see that, but one of the downsides. Oh, I guess that in this case it's not too bad because the warlock took out the Owl Anchor Eddy. Yeah, we are now up and running. Well, still, that is 121,000 experience. That should get Arcane enough levels to get going. And realistically, we've not much lost really.
And here we are with Saradin now. I believe on the same floor. I think we're going to see another warlock grind here, this time on Saradin's side.
Yeah, but I don't know if I saw any mute. Oh, I guess we have hourglasses. We have an hourglass if necessary that also would do the job. Probably thinks that this is probably a quicker grind than doing the traditional Siren hourglass fight, which would be the gold dragons. Team's not really well set up to do that quickly anytime soon, so this makes sense. Meanwhile, we do have Sylverfyre dive into the bottom of the lunar subterrane. We're interested to see whether they hit Mass Ribbon Room first or White Sphere Altar first. Their objectives either way.
Yeah, this is one interesting thing, especially on Syl's side. This is a moon dive with well under the 10 key item mark. So
yeah.
It's not like one is more important than the other to hit first for the double XP or anything like that. So that Warlock grind was going to be the big source of XP for this.
Oh, hi.
This is where that curve string really still wants to reset out of that.
Yeah,
I thought after getting one up.
No, I think part of the problem there is. Oh, we're going. Was you probably want two characters up, so you need to at least life one up. So that's probably. I think we'll just go take on White Spear. Take White Spear, and that is
in its natural habitat. We have the antler.
Wow, this is not a kind moon for doing low level cheekiness. So yeah, Syl I think looks like it's going to go back and get some more levels before even contemplating doing that. Or I guess open chests, because I guess if we're able to spike an adamant armor, that also is a reasonable play.
It's also a decent chunk of experience from any chest here too. So it's like two birds with one stone. Opening the chest if you can get something really good out of it.
Although, okay, we finally just found our first monster chest, and it's a behemoth, so not a good one to find. Honestly, it's just gonna be slow no matter what. Is probably we're just gonna need to have a whole bunch of blink casters. We're probably gonna have to have if we have anything we can dart, we might have to do that.
Well, at least the Berserk Edge can do a good chunk of damage with each hit. It's these counter attacks that are going to be a bit nasty if they're hitting anybody other than Edge.
Wait, why is Edge only taking 1 damage there? Huh? Does that Edge have an armor on? There's a lot less. Oh, a glass hat.
I mean, I don't remember seeing either one of them. I think I would have remembered an adamant armor.
Same, right?
The glass hat I might have missed. Yeah,
because Edge taking only 1 damage there would kind of suggest. I don't know, but don't recall seeing it. So protect ring, okay, that would.
If it was an adamant armor, I imagine that's an Excalibur. If it was an adamant armor equipped on Edge, I imagine still would be fighting that antlion still. So.
That's true, actually. It must.
I think it's just good gear overall.
Probably. Must be. So still getting
more hands.
kind of unlucky. Kind of lucky. Only finding one monster chest on the way here. So I guess while up here, may as well try to go for this Crystal Sword altar first.
Yeah.
May as well. We're here. Meanwhile, it looks like we have Saradin attempting taking a shot at Adeline, but I think the counters are going to be the bane of Saradin's existence. Meanwhile, we have our third and final reprise of the Tassel Stream from Final Fantasy VIII. So we're just going to let that play for you all.
An unfortunate Globe 199, but Xenocat able to get through that fight. Saradin adjusting to battle speed 6 for round 2 versus the Wyvern here.
Also, we actually have Horm as being our anchor for this fight. So I think we might actually be also seeing what one could call stop hitting oneself strats. So we're gonna see I think we have Sylph on Saradin, so we might actually consider. Oh no, okay, I guess not. That would be an also way to get through this fight would be to have Rydia cast use the Sylph summon to do some damage to Wyvern. Wyvern will then counter with the Mega Nuke. We've got our 2 walls up, so that can just lead us to winning by having essentially Wyvern Mega Nuke himself.
And also, we saw while the music was playing, Sylverfyre defeat the elements at that Crystal Sword altar to get the Luca key.
Yeah, that is a very awkward one to see there. Especially given when we know that the pass is actually at the Tower Zot, which still has faded. If that is required in some way, that is going to be an interesting spot for our runners.
Oh, and here we go. That Sylph summon is coming in, Infidious, just like you had suggested.
So here we see we're only doing like 700 damage, but this Mega Nuke will also do. Yeah, that's probably better than anything else Saradin is doing, actually. Oddly enough. Meanwhile, Sylverfyre is trying to find more of those monster chests, and has only now just found a second one. And this is this is not the fight you want to see if you're trying to spike random chests. That is not a this is double red dragons, so we're in for a world of hurt. We're going to have get both our Zerkers going and hope we do equal damage to each of these red dragons, because the last thing we want to do is to get heat raid. Yeah, another unfortunate thing from Saradin as well is that now that looks like the one of the nukes actually hit Edge. Edge went down, so we might be going to Plan B at this point of not doing out these Sylph strats on Wyvern. Yeah, I think this looks like that's just a Death Spiral wipe to me for Saradin.
Yeah, there's just no supplemental damage, and these nukes are just coming out too fast. Not a lot of hit points on the squad, so it's not going to be an easy fight to get through. And there's that nuke that's going to be it, and there's the reset.
Yeah.
Like, Saradin had a setup that was good, but just didn't have the raw endurance to get through it with the squad.
Yeah, agreed. Oh, we're also doing. I guess we're also doing that with not battle speed, not a true cursed anchor. So that also probably doesn't help matters at all.
Sure.
Meanwhile, sylverfyre is still going up at these red dragons. All right, so we got the first one down, and we might hopefully we see that second one down pretty shortly, because otherwise we're going to get heat raid. No, I think we're through now. That circus
we're
going
good.
Go.
We're good.
That is 103,000 XP for Syl's party, and our reward is a Leviathan Summon, which is not quite what we're looking for, but look, we're not going to say no to those levels.
All right, and going back down to the bottom, looks like we're going to get another play against, well, probably either the Adamant either the Antlion or that Wyvern, or it could be the Mazamune altar, but I think the two objective spots are a little bit higher priority for Syl here.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. It just you just want to do your objectives. If we get all three of our objectives here, we are off to the races. We just get to complete the seed, pretty quickly.
We'll say this is a spicy moon. This Wyvern required here at the Ribbon Room, the Antlion in its natural habitat also required. We saw the Baigan at the Vera altar. We see an Evil Wall at the Bahamut spot. This moon is not playing around.
No, it is not, and it'll be interesting to see how our runners get through this challenge. At least from Syl's perspective, we do have levels, although but still not. Wow! Still not good enough to still not in a great spot to be able to get through that. So, but we do have a Barker Swine. That one Barker Swine is probably doing a lot of work here. It's going even at be about speed 3 or 6 or whatever Syl is at. That should help us get through this Wyvern fight.
Meanwhile, Saradin's still trying to do this at the lower level too. I think Syl might have had the better plan of go and do some other fights, do a little bit more grinding, instead of trying to force your way through this, because this spot has a lot of hit points too.
Yeah, off mode it's about 42,000. So the reflected menu did 10k of that. So we still need to output a lot of damage to get through this. And only now do we just start seeing the Wolf and Wyvern. So these nukes are going to come pretty soon. But I think Syl is going to get through this pretty quickly. We just got the Cure 3 off on Kane. These nukes aren't going to one-shot our party or their party, so I think it's safe to say that Syl is going to be through this fight. Yeah,
it looks like those extra levels that Syl took are what the doctor ordered here to get past this Wyvern here, whereas Saradin took a second wipe there, and yeah, that's just unfortunate. And now is going to go and check that Mazamune altar to hopefully find something useful and beatable down there, as Syl has defeated that Wyvern.
Yep, so still need to do a Light Spear altar, but that is the Rat Tail. So wow, that is a doubly required Ribbon Room at that point. Yeah, it's nice when you can get 2 objectives completed in one go, and that's exactly what happened. Well, mostly completed in one go for Syl, since that hook is still looming large. Okay, meanwhile, we have Xenocat having is going to make a play that none of the runners has actually done.
Yeah.
And I do like this gamble is this Fey March. We know that there's a Demus at the Asura spot. We know that there is some dark imps in the Leviathan spots. It's possible that Xenocat is trying to make a play to catch up at this point. Because if the hook is here, that makes for some interesting choices.
It is a really Xenocat has had some unfortunate routing decisions, and also a couple unfortunate. I think there was a wipe, at least one in the in Evelyn Castle that makes they're probably feeling quite a bit behind, and it's also thinking we had this magma key early. Everyone saw these dark imps down there, but probably weren't able to take it. I think I can do it now. So let's go ahead and take care of this. And this is going to be a check that I'm doing that nobody else has done. So yeah, I really like this play.
Although we have to hope that this hourglass comes in. Okay, so we actually are going to get through this in a very slow way. Because these dark imps are going to basically knock out the rest of our party. Which is not great, but we do have an Edward who started hiding. And that should hopefully mean that with the Assassin Dagger, we should be able to get the swoon procs on these dark imps.
Yep.
And we should be off to the races.
And Sylverfyre has defeated the Antlion at the White Spear altar for another objective to be completed here. Just another Mazamune. There's so many Mazamunes and Murasamis in this scene.
I know, right? And yet only one edge.
Yeah. But Saradin found Mylon and friends down at the Mazamune altar, which is definitely one that's a lot more doable than the fights that he's been struggling with down here at the bottom of the moon. So this is a welcome find for sure.
Yes, most definitely. Meanwhile, Xenocat is through those dark imps and is rewarded with another white spear. So
that is unfortunate. And I'm sorry, I may have spoke too soon. This Mylon, those lit ones are hitting for a lot. The magic attack on this spot is actually quite high.
Yes, and now we actually have a Zerka going. Yeah, that edge is taking a fair bit. This might be a very rough one for Saradin. We might actually be seeing a wipe right now.
We do see Sylverfyre in that same battle right now. Looks like Xeno is heading back down, wants to take out that Demus as well. So, okay, poor Saradin.
Yeah, that's unfortunate too. We are seeing some very interesting tech from Syl. We actually equipped both the Murasames because we want to use flame. This is a way to get the gas down, which is an interesting way to try to go about this fight. Haven't thought about trying this way, and there we go. We now have the gas down. Meanwhile, we have Saradin walking all the way back up Lunar Subterrane. Is he out of life potion?
No, I think wants to go back to the Warlock floor.
Right. Okay. Again, that makes sense.
Because I believe this is I think this is just a faster fight than the two Gold Dragons here.
Yeah, and since you're able to get double life glitches, it's probably you're probably better off trying to go for it here anyway. So I guess while we have our runners in 3 completely different spots in the seed, just give all these races a follow. I'm sure they're putting on a heck of a show. This is a very interesting race, and I'm sure they would all appreciate the love that you can give them. But yeah, with this D mistake being very, very rude, it's very fast. We're going to need a whole bunch of damage. It's going to be rough. But I think sylverfyre is also going to get through this Marlin fight, because I think that Kane has got some Dragoon armor on, so these ones are barely doing anything to him.
Yeah, and the Porum either has like a diamond ring or something else that was protecting.
A protect ring, I believe. Protect ring, so that would also help. And yeah, we get the Oh My Body script. Syl is going to finish this Master Altar. We're about to see what could possibly be there. And it's...
Oh, that's not...
Oh, that's huge. Alright, so...
Syl has been playing so well throughout this entire seed. Like all the... In addition to playing well, like all the decisions that Syl has been making have been paying off too. Like the routing choices has been working out so well. It's just been really fun to watch sylverfyre's run tonight.
Yeah, I think they played like the early call for this to get the Berserk on Porum. I did definitely agree with that. I agree with that. Just getting more edge turns is amazing. Yeah, I think this and with all that wise decisions, is going to be well ahead. Looks like they are pulling well ahead, having access to just needing the Baron key for go mode at this point.
Oh, and a power shirt from the Divas. Oh, poor Xenocat. Like trying to make a play here, and that stings. That just stings.
Yeah, that is incredibly unfortunate. I'm sure they feel extraordinary behind it. Doesn't feel good when it happens, but that is one. That's a gamble. This is a free play race. You have to swing for the fences sometimes, and sometimes you just strike out. That's not to say that they haven't played this well either. It's just that they've gone a bit unlucky, and they've made some unfortunate, have some unfortunate luck, and they haven't been rewarded for it.
Yeah, it's like as far as the decisions on routing, like everywhere where sylverfyre got that extra plus is where Xenocat got the extra minus, and so these things just have been adding up. Plus that, like all that looting that Xenocat did that didn't end up really paying off was time that Syl was able to avoid by not going to Evelyn Castle at all. So it's like all these little things are adding up in the difference. Meanwhile, Saradin has found his way up into the moon, but was trying to take down these bosses before doing any extensive grinding, and was really paying for it in time too. Now has some extra levels, so now is going to be able to be in a position to start taking out some of these difficult bosses at the bottom of the moon, but Syl's already been there and done that.
Exactly. Just know, it's situations like this. The temptation is always, especially in a three-person race where only the winner gets the gold, as it were. It's very tempting to just go for like the high risk plays.
Yeah.
But sometimes the best thing to do, especially when you see bosses like like Baigen at Murasame, like Antlion at the White Spear, also like Wyvern at the Ribbon Room, is to just get your levels and just make it so that just make things easier for yourself, and just take all the high execution out of play here. And you can see that that's how Syl has basically approached this seed, and is going to get, and is safe to say, very well ahead at this point.
Yeah, agreed. Completely agreed there. And now sylverfyre is going for that Baigen fight here to complete objective number 3.
Yeah.
And it's going to be able to get through this pretty easily. I think sylverfyre has also got the levels to basically be ready for the end game as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have 26. Yeah, we have levels in Kane. I think with all the apples we've fed for him, we've gotten enough levels for her. It's interesting to see where Syl goes from here, because all they have left at the moment is Cave Bahamut. where we know that there's an evil wall there. But given that you just got you have Hook and Luca Cave there, so it might be tempting to just leave Cave Valley for now and just chase those first, and that is what they are opting to do.
Well, if this rat tail hides the Baron key, then yeah, that's about it. Right now, for Saradin especially, and Xenocat as well, in order for them to come back to the race, they need that Baron key to be behind the evil wall in Cave Bahamut.
Well,
and they need to make the decision to go there.
Well, this is the interesting thing, given what we as commentators know, right?
Yes.
All we have available to us right now is this Rat Tail turn-in, the Seal Cave check, and Cave Valley. Everything else doesn't have any. We've seen everything else between all of our runners, so and we know that Rat Tail is an objective. So this, I think this is a very reasonable play that this is going to put Syl very ahead. I'm
not trying to insinuate that Silverfyre is making a mistake. I'm just trying to point out where. Yeah.
Yes, sure. No, I don't. I'm not trying to Syl is making a mistake. It is the gamble, given that you got Rat Tail and Luca Key on the moon. You commit to your gambles.
Oh, what a surprise! It's a Bazamune, yeah.
How many have there been? Like, we just. Oh, I guess this is the other thing, is that we're also getting we're actually getting our pink tail turn in, so we're getting an adamant armor for someone. So that's also a huge reason to go back on Earth, because and that's going to also really help with that evil wall fight.
But Syl has other checks on the blue planet that haven't been done yet, as we see heading towards Fabul, because Syl hasn't done Sheila 2 yet. So
yeah. I was gonna say I was wondering whether they did that or not. I couldn't remember. I guess my memory was in fact correct there.
But there's also both of the Fame Arch bosses that they haven't done yet, and then there's that Luca key that could be checked too. And you see the quick reset doesn't even want to walk out with the adamant. What are they going to do with an Excalibur if they get it? I guess they could dart it, but that's a lot of time spent for a dart.
Yeah, that's not really worth it. We don't even know where the Legend Sword is as well, which doesn't help matters at all. This also kind of makes sense. You've come back to Earth. You may as well do your objective. You also get to route in Sealed Cave first. You probably get to route in Sealed Cave on the way down. You also get to get a final check of the shop. So if there are in fact Barker Swines for sale here in Eblin, then we're basically done checking anything for the rest of the seed. And there we go. There's our Barker Swine. We bought. That's 20, I think we just bought. So yeah,
I mean, I don't know if like anything short of 50, I think is not enough.
I mean, look, we've got the money. We've basically full cleared. We've basically full cleared all the moon. We get. I think who doesn't want to just go in and just drink a lot of wine and just finish the rest of the seed very quickly. But meanwhile, we do have Xenocat finishing up the Murasame altar, is going to get objective number 3, about to get I believe it was a Protect Ring, and is going to get another. At least it is making forward progress. And I think looks like Saradin is going to be doing something similar. It's a slow and steady fight, but we are going to get there. Syl is going through our objective required hook route, so we see that there's a Rosa there. Probably not going to pick her up. We also see a purple robe, so we know that is our. Given we found Marlon and friends at the Ogo spot, with we know that this has to be Marlon Z. To answer the chat, Syl got their adamant armor by turning in the pink tail. So but I think their plan is just I believe that they gave it to Edge. So we have a double Master Mune bandana adamant armor Zeus Golden Edge. That Edge is loaded for bear. Is going to do a whole lot of work when it comes to Zeroma Sign. It's probably going to do about 4 to 5k a swing, but it's also but they are on their way to get their objective. Looks like we are down to darting from Saradin because we really do not want to trigger any more counters. Our healing, it looks like, is making use of the Sylph glitch that is up and running. But ooh, that hits to Rydia makes things a whole lot more awkward there. It'll be interesting to see who's actually in the King Queen spot, because we know all our runners have to do this. Is one of our 7 objectives here, and hopefully it's not too rude. Well, this is old Gauntlet. You kinda hate this if you're runners, because these are 5 fights out in a row that you know that you had to have gotten the levels to do this, but you just don't. You just want to go fast, so you don't really want to do this if you can avoid it. But we can avoid it, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately for Syl, like at this level, this is not going to take that long.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's going to be relatively quick. We do have we'll probably just have like a whole bunch of melee swings from edge, and yeah, we're good to go there. And the XP isn't really worth it, because at this point we're almost at Zeromus levels. We almost have a Porum with 2,000 hit points. So
yeah, I mean, a little bit of that was from apples, but still, it's a pretty high HP Porum, without a doubt.
That's true. Meanwhile, Saradin is, I believe, is through that antline. I'm not sure. I think you know South, but their next target will be the Wyvern. They're going to get a couple more objectives out of the way soon.
Wow, almost an hour and 20 in, Ninja Flame still being useful on Sylverfyre's screen.
I mean, it's a Hawkrat Gauntlet, so yeah, if any point in the storm up to get AoE, early AoE of this team, you'll take.
And you're right, here is that the Wyvern fights. See if we can get Saradin's revenge this time around.
Oh, we do get a summon here. This one does summon dragons, but again, it's just more just an annoying time loss that could have been avoided if we did more damage. But these things happen sometimes.
And the green dragon versus the yellow dragon, lot less XP for the green dragon, but not that XP is what we're doing this fight for.
Yeah, it's amazing how much I think the green dragons have more hit points but give less experience off memory, which is kind of rude when you think about it.
I think the XP charts in this game are wild.
Yeah. I mean, look, we just know that one egg with that 10 key items gave us 9,600, whereas the yellow dragon gives us with 10 key items 68,000. That doesn't make sense to me, but it is what it is. We are about to get Fright Marlin's Head. Syl is going to be, and Syl should be pretty close to getting through this launch the Falcon objective shortly.
And so Saradin once again employing the counter Mega Nuke plan, but now is in a little bit of a better situation all around considering, so is able to do much, and it looks like so far so good on this Wyvern fight.
I think that was just an initial one, because now we want to be able to Zerk our Eddie, but
Edward, yeah.
And
that may be more efficient overall, yeah.
But not helped by the fact that our White Magic Caster, Porum just took the first Mega nuke, so might be a bit of a rough one in that sense.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate targeting, and the same thing happens again. So, but Sylverfyre has defeated Mylon Z and is now just through the bosses in the hook route, so we'll be able to launch that Falcon very shortly for objective number 7.
Yeah, and if I was to hazard a guess, I think they are going to beeline it straight to Sealed Cave, because that is another key item that they got on the moon. So that at that point we've already we've committed to a whole bunch of Earth-based fades, so may as well just commit to them.
And Saradin has been able to defeat that Wyverns.
Oh yeah, so that means that is I guess on the restream that's orb number 4 complete, because he has now completed both the White Spear and the Ribbon Room. And I think that the same for Xeno. Xeno has made up a lot of time.
Yeah,
it has to be said. But no, given the struggles that they had initially.
Yeah, Xenocat has, for the most part, played really well. It's just like had some unfortunate routing decisions was the main cause of the discrepancy in Xenocat versus Sylverfyre and Saradin, to be fair.
Yeah, it's just it's some bad luck. These things happen sometimes. That unfortunate wipe to the Stalemon chest where Edge got continuously slept. That's a significant time loss there. But that's something that happens in this randomizer. You just know these things happen to even the best of runners. They just have as we say, board AI just has it out for you sometimes.
Yeah, and then Saradin just to really being aggressive, but that aggressive not being rewarded by just really very difficult bosses here in the Lunar Subterrane. And it's like Saradin had some good strategy, but just the levels just weren't there. And for certain fights, there's some level advantages that can't be made up with strategy. So yeah, so a little bit unfortunate there. If there were different bosses, then Saradin might be right there with Sylverfyre too.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's just that this moon just happened to be, a Scarlet Kitty special in the sense that this was just rude.
Yeah. Yeah, I think rude question mark absolutely is accurate.
Yeah. But meanwhile, we're about to fight. This is the motor trip for the seed. Sylverfyre is about to dive this sealed cave. We'll find out very quickly whether this is required or not. That's go mode. That's parity. Wow. So this was so by count, that's 4. So we've got that Luca key from, I believe it was the Elements fight at the Crystal Sword altar.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 objectives required the moon fully.
This was a moon seed through and through, and with difficult moon bosses to guard those moon objectives. So yeah, this was not an easy seed by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, the only kind of thing that really tipped the scales in the players' favor was they gave you an Edge early and a lot of toys to play with Edge.
Yeah, that's true. And this is also, in a sense, this is a very good time to practice for brackets because, surprise, surprise, we're not going to, 2 of the big characters we talked about at the beginning of the seed, our Cecils, our Fusoyas, I know have basically decided to take a vacation this seed. They're either behind a package, they're either at the Giants, or they're behind this Baron key. So good practice, because we're not when it comes to brackets, we're not going to see Cecil or Fu at all.
But yeah, this was really a well played. This is a commanding lead here by Sylverfyre. Just routed it like there was luck on their side, but also just really good execution all around by Silverfyre. So this is a well-earned walk out towards the end of this seed here. Also want to just quickly give a shout out to the Restream team tonight while this is happening. We've mentioned her name a few times, Scala Kitty, rolling the seed, restreaming it tonight. We have the great Sheep Launcher pushing the buttons, doing the tracking for us. So biggest shout outs to both of them, because without them, we do not have a show. And I also want to thank everybody over at the RPG Limit Break channel. Once again, great partners for us through this entire event.
And I also like to thank Rex for doing commentary with me. Like, otherwise, I wouldn't mind talking about cricket all the time, but like, that's all I'd be doing if it wasn't for Rex here, which is completely unrelated to what's going on screen. So,
and I wouldn't even be able to help you because I wouldn't even know what questions to ask.
I mean, that's also that's what practice is for. No, that's you just need to watch more cricket. It's fine.
I'll put that on my to-do list. But more importantly, Silverfyre's to-do list is to go through Baron Castle and complete this. We know that King Queen Evelyn is the first fight here, so that's a free one. But then the second fight, like, I don't think there's anything that Silverfyre is scared of. The most annoying thing I think would be is if it's Golbez in the second fight here, because I don't think we've seen him.
We haven't seen him, but we also have an Adamant armor, so it would just be annoying.
Yeah, just annoying. Not scary.
I think the other annoying thing would be Ogo Pogo, because the first two waves would cut out Apai's hit points in half. But again, this is just annoying. Sil's levels are just so dang high that everything else is just going to be a tickle at this point.
Yeah, their plan of doing like precision grinding and like recognizing when they saw the antlion and the wyvern where they were at, that they're going to need a little bit more. So went to those chests and everything like that in order to get just that little bit of push over the hump to be able to do it. I think that's like the real insightful play that we saw Silverfyre make. And at that point, they were already in the lead, but that's the sort of thing that ensures that you don't lose that lead.
Yeah, exactly. And important to note, Xenocat is, I believe, has just overtaken Saradin, which fair, because they are just through that Mylan Z. That is a credit to Xenocat, because I'm not gonna lie, I thought they were dead for money, coming into this, but has actually made a huge chunk of time through this moon dive. And I believe I cursed our runners by actually it being actually Ogo at the Kinato spot. I'm not sorry, but kind of.
Yeah, but we did see Silverfyre make use of the kamikaze to avoid the shake of the boss. Well timed on that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Infinix, I thought you said there was no foo in this scene.
I said that I said for brackets there would be no foo, but we knew that there had to be foo. It was foo or Cecil was more likely to be here.
Yeah, there's the package and the giant, I think. So yeah.
Oh, I guess we haven't seen the Sand Ruby character either, so I missed that one. So. Oh
yeah.
But Silverfyre is about to take that essentially the victory walk to about to get whatever is in this little pot here, but it's also about to get their crystal, about to get their way to Zeromus. Hey, it's a legend sword. We can, if we still didn't reset out of Adamant Rock, we could forge, but we also get the crystal, and they are going to be on their way to the Zeromus fight very shortly, I would think. Yeah,
I don't think there needs to be any other steps taken. It's just, then people, still never got the pass.
Yes, yeah. So we do, yeah. Also, because Syl decided to fade the Tower Zot, and this is kind of why I say that this is kind of a push, right? Because the time it takes to have gotten that pass is about equal to that walk down to the Luminous Subterranean. So. So Xenocat has also just gotten a Luka key. We know that they are going to going to be well on the way to go merge shortly, and Saradin has to go back, and it looks like they've also faded the element spot. So they might be in a huge spot of trouble if they decide to leave the moon at this point.
Well, at this point, I think unless something goes haywire with Silverfyre against Xeramus, I think Saradin and Xenocat are going to be looking at yet another rematch to get for the play-in for the runner-up spot in the Crystal Ring. Because as of right now, Silverfire's lead is pretty strong. It looks like they're going to be most likely the ones taking the winning spot here in this Crystal Ring group.
Yeah, and just a reminder, the winner of this race gets themselves to brackets, will face Martin Broadcloak in the brackets. Of the other two who do not win this race in the play-in, in that play-in race, those two will then face Rubear on the other side of the bracket.
And here we see Xenocat flying over towards the Adamant Grotto to turn in their tails.
Yep. Going to be disappointed by seeing another Master Mune there, but again, it's probably going to go through the feels good route of actually just launching the Falcon, doing the hook route, and then going to Seal Cave afterwards, because you just got that key item from the moon. I'll feel obliged to chase that, given all the fates he made on Earth.
And Syl has made their last save and is now walking down towards the lunar core, and will be ready to fight Xeramus very shortly here. In which case, I think it's about time for us to talk about this final boss, Phineas?
I mean, I suppose this is the Kulix fight, right?
Well, I'll say maybe. We really don't know yet, do we?
That's true. We actually don't know. That's true. So the thing about this the Xeramus fight is very rude. No one really wants to see a big bang at the Ordeals 3. It'd just be rude to do so. So instead, what we do is we decide to give the Xeramus a makeover. There's over 500 different Xeramus sprites out in the pool, which Xeramus wishes to cosplay, and we have a saying, don't we, Rex?
We do. So, whose butt are we going to kick tonight?
And is it cute? And apparently, does it have a hat? Isn't this a new meme? Apparently.
And we will find out what that is once the crystal gets thrown here, and we'll see if it's one of the many sprites that I do not recognize.
Oh, there's way too many for me, I think.
Yeah. But usually there's somebody in the chat who knows, and like more than half the time that's Scala Kitty.
That's true.
Speaking of ones I do not recognize, we have Miriam's.
Breath of Fire. It's one of the Breath of Fire games. Free, yeah. Free. No. I've seen this one before. That's the only reason I know, for what it's worth, is people say, "Oh, it's Breath of Fire free." It's like, okay, I'll take your word for it. Yeah, we've already got the nuke off, the counter nuke off. So this first event is going to be nerfed. We have a whole bunch of elixirs at the ready for Syl. So yeah, we should be good to go at this point.
It looks like Syl also wants to just get in maybe a white reflected here as a star veil was thrown up by Porum there. So going to reflect a white.
Yeah, I think just helps you just get an extra additional damage. We're only doing, looks like we're doing roughly 8k on my count, 8k a cycle. So just having an extra white there, it should help with the damage a fair bit. Saradin has actually bailed from him. Unfortunately for him, has stranded that Lukaki from the Crystal Sword altar, and is going to might be the bit spot roll to find out where his Goma is going to be, given all the things that Saradin has faded.
Hmm. Yeah, this might mean Saradin's next play after potentially launching the Falcon would be those Fey March bosses, which were faded earlier. And we know, because we saw Xenocat do them, that they will lead to nothing.
Well, I mean, you get a power share, but that's not quite what you're looking for when you're making that play. You're looking for go mode. I think one of the other interesting things is how different all the parties are for each of our runners. Essentially, like we still have a Paladin from Xenocat. We have a Iridia from Saradin. We just have 2 Zerkers on Syl's side. Ooh, and that was an unnerfed Big Bang. But
there we go.
Down Rumus goes. Sylverfyre is our winner. Is going to make it through to brackets, and will face Master Broadcloak. Congratulations to Sylverfyre and GG's.
Time of 1:38.34. Well played all around by Sylverfyre in this seed. And we will see if Sylverfyre wants to come in for an interview. But yeah, I mean, all things considered, this was just like luck was on Syl's side and skill was on Syl's side. So having both of those together, and we saw that early play to crack that one egg just kind of enabled Sylverfyre to do whatever they wanted to do. Just opened all the doors up of possibilities, and Sylverfyre really leveraged that to get through the seed very quickly.
And not only. Okay.
Hello.
GG's Silver, and congratulations on winning that seed. This race. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling like I played my heart out, especially on that D fight.
Yeah, that Big Bang probably was a bit scary, seeing your party.
I knew that I was going to eat either the second Big Bang or the Meteor, but not both.
Okay, if you're very confident about that, then that's
yeah. I was doing the math, and I'm like, yeah, I can just cast another white here. I'll get throw in 7,000 more damage or so, and I'll be able, because one of the things about the amount of damage I was doing is it's prone to getting the Big Bang into Meteor wombo combo. I just make the judgment call. It's like, no, I'm just going to do more damage.
No,
throw in a little extra damage and just push.
Yep, that's fair enough. I think it was roughly 8k a cycle. So yeah, that makes sense. No, you just need a little bit more.
It was like 7k a cycle, average, which is it's around the rough spot. So nothing in extra 8k damage from Porum can't fix.
Exactly.
Even if she has to die while casting it.
Look, sacrifices need to be made sometimes, you know. So, talk us through the early game. You have a white mage in Porum, a good circuit edge, and you have a starting magma key. You opted to go immediately underground and not even check.
I wanted to raise money and try to buy some kind of good weapons for edge from a shop.
Okay.
That's exactly how that went out.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
I think I went back for a second ninja sword because ninja swords are very good.
That's true, but apparently, it was kind of unfortunate in that sense that you didn't know that there was basically about 5,000 master units out in the seed somewhere.
I mean, Sure, but it helped me get there faster.
It's true. It's true. Actually, the one thing that I think the one thing that you did that neither of the runners did that probably also helped a lot was actually getting using a siren early to get Berserk onto Porum. I think
that is exactly why I used that first siren. It was 100%. I want Berserk right now. That is the only reason I'm using this siren.
Yeah, and I think that helped you a lot with the early game. I think.
Yeah, especially when I was doing things like kind of those mid game bosses like Dwarf Castle and Top of Tower.
Yeah, Berserk is a very, very powerful spell, especially when you know that no Barkers want to sell anyway as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I eventually got them. They were behind the hook, though.
Yeah, which doesn't help when you have to do, when there's a whole bunch of awful bosses on the moon. Speaking of that moon,
that was a skill challenge. Like, I knew going into this seed when I saw those objectives that I wanted to go to the moon, full clear it, and in one sweep. Like, no messing around with, like, check the character, come back. Like, no, I just wanted to go, I wanted to sweep it, and I wanted to come back. And so I wanted to make sure I had enough power when I went up there. Interestingly enough, it's actually the samurai armor that added that level of confidence.
Okay, so talk us through that. What about the armor helps?
So, on the moon you have a couple of bosses that hit like absolute trucks.
Yeah.
Edge was gonna hit really hard. He had a ninja hat and a Zeus Gauntlet. And no body armor.
Yep. And I think I think
it
you
really
find that
mattered for that antlion especially.
Yeah, I think it was that. I think if you go back and watch this again, I think the other big thing you opted to do was actually just get levels, because those bosses end up being very rude. Whereas I think Saradin basically tried to low level it, which proved to be a bad assumption of something that was not doable.
Yeah, without it didn't feel like we had the gear to low level. Like,
right.
Again,
Right.
That's where the samurai armor kind of like made me feel a little more confident. And like a couple like the plethora of steel.
Well, yeah, and the extra levels from like that behemoth chest and the red dragon's chest too.
Yeah, I was trying to grab a cheeky adamant armor there too.
That's kind of what we figured, but
siren.
Yeah.
But there was, I mean, the upside of doing it either way was the levels that you were getting too.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like I still get the XP. I have to play a little more carefully during the fight, but I'm pretty confident, especially because like Kane had no body armor, but he did have a dragoon helmet. And Porum was just like fully geared with like a protect ring and a Sork robe. So like I felt pretty good about those. But yeah, it was very much a like I need more levels. I would also like some better, like an adamant armor if I can yank one out of a box. But that's kind of going to be gravy on the thing that I already want.
Yeah, it just happened you hit the wrong tier 8, essentially. You hit an X-Scal as opposed to, an Adam Armor. But
yeah,
look, it was great. Like I said, the Adam Armor was
Remember,
gravy.
I think I threw it at Antlion? Or was it Wyvern?
I don't remember. I think it was one or two. It was probably white Antlion, since I think you had a Circuit Gauntlet for Wyvern.
Yeah, I accidentally left on Wyvern Standard Time a little longer than I intended, although I do like it for things like the Fabo Gauntlet because it helps get a turn off or two before they start throwing, like, animating their attacks at you, so it didn't hurt me, really.
Yeah, it didn't. Like, it was just, it kind of worked out. I think at that point you had such a commanding lead that you could have been at Battle Speed 6 for that Zeroma spot and you still would be.
Yeah, but I don't know that I have that kind of lead.
It's true. You don't. So you're now moving on to brackets. So you're now facing Martin. I believe you're facing Martin Broadcloak, the runner-up from Ogre Axe. Have you had much to watch any of those races?
I have not paid that much attention to too many other racers unless I know them personally in the tournament. So I admit that like I might have to go back and watch some of those games and some of the other games of people that that I've been, that I'm going to be in a bracket with.
Yeah, so
I also just got to, dust off these bracket flags that, like, I honestly feel like I almost approached this particular seed kind of like a bracket seed. It's like, I'm not trying to fish out, like, high roll chests too hard. Just get some basic weaponry and cast Berserk on edge a lot.
yeah, I mean that's a fair way to go about that. Although monies might be a lot tighter given that it's going to be still quarter.
It is.
Yeah,
You're right.
And I'd just like to say, at least on a personal level, being as in this race, Saradin, Xenocat, and yourself, Syl, are the three people who beat me in the Crystal Ring. So I just hope that you and whoever ends up winning the play-in race between Saradin and Xenocat represent the Crystal Ring well. And after watching this race, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do there.
Yeah. I mean, like, you look at the race like this and it's like, well, at least I didn't lose to, like, at least I, the people who beat me, it's like, I can't be walking away from that feeling like it was a bad beat.
Right. Well,
so, yeah,
oh, go ahead.
I'm out of questions. I was going to say I'm out of questions for Silk. Again, congratulations, and welcome to brackets.
All right.
And just if you had any other final thoughts before you go today, any other messages that you'd like to say? I mean, if you don't have any, that's fine too.
I'm really appreciative of my partners kind of pushing me to do well in this tournament. So Demi, Zoe, Alice, and Nat have all kind of just been really encouraging, keeping me actually practicing, etc.
Well, GG's again, and good luck in your next race and for the rest of this event, sylverfyre. Congratulations. And that was the winner of today's tiebreaker race in the Crystal Ring group, sylverfyre. Just as that interview wraps up, we do see Xenocat heading into the final fight with Zeramus now.
Yeah, again, I think a fair credit to Xenocat, having been struggled a lot in the early game, has managed to make up a lot of time despite all their struggles. So, again, tip my hat off to them for running a heck of a race despite those stumbles.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because I think, like, we've been gushing most of the seed, and I think rightly so. sylverfyre really dominated tonight, played really well, also got lucky in parts too, but had a really good plan with that early getting berserk, like they mentioned in the interview there. But like Saradin and Xenocat both struggled in really different ways, and it looks like as of right now, Xenocat was able to make up that for that struggle a little bit more efficiently than Saradin did. Saradin also getting hit with a little bit of bad luck by skipping that crystal sword altar.
Yeah, and this is one of those things where you fade a whole bunch of things. Sometimes those fades pay off. Sometimes they don't. It is just one of those unfortunate things for all our runners.
Right. It's worth noting, like, most of sylverfyre's fades turned out to be exactly the right ones to skip. So, like, luck was on their side as well. But yeah, like, this. It made for a really good race, a really interesting race to see, like, three runners really attack the seed quite differently.
Exactly, I know, and it's also always interesting, given all the pieces, all the things they started off with, how they all diverged went off in different directions. Like even from like the first minute where we had some sylverfyre immediately go underground, where Saradin and Xenocat actually went to check Bedwood first.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the most, like, for myself personally, when I'm racing, I don't like to see the early magma key, but when I'm calling a race or watching a race, it's one of my favorite things to see, just because then you've got so much more open to the world and how different runners decide to take on that, because it becomes a lot more of a challenge, really, because oftentimes before you start a seed, you've got an idea of what I'm going to do in the early game, what my routing is, and that magma key just changes all of that, like, instantly.
Yes, and then you could also look into what kind of gambles you can kind of make there. Do you want to go underground early? Do you want to do you want to just hold off on things and just do your normal overall checks first? Do you hoping to find a pan? There's so many divergent options that are available to you once you have that early magma key, and it's always interesting to see how, given those options, what people think is the correct play, and it doesn't. And I would also be willing to say, if it was different characters, do you still make the same play?
That's the thing. Like, talking to sylverfyre in the interview, like, getting that, and you mentioned it, Infinius, at the beginning of the race too, getting that Berserk on Forum was so important. And if that wasn't Forum there, would it be that important? Would it have been that much of an advantage that sylverfyre had to cash in that Siren right away?
Yeah, like if your starting characters were, say, I don't know, Sid and Edge, you might decide, I just want to say Overworld, because I don't get that much benefit for getting an early Siren, getting Berserk. I don't. Alternatively, you might just figure, you know what, I want to go underground because I have an Edge. I want to see if there are Barker's Wine for sale, and I'm going to use that to get through the seed earlier, and just go through Barker's Wine like a drunk sailor.
There was that, and if you recall, again from sylverfyre's interview, the finding of a weapon for Edge, and like seeing those ninja swords for sale in Tomra was another big factor in the early game routing for the winner of our seed tonight.
Exactly, and and that's the thing I love about this randomizer. It's just like you have all these options. It's just trying to work out what you should be trying to do. It's never obvious what the answer is.
I think one of the answers is this adamant armor on Edward, able to dodge a couple Meteos at low HP, and it's enough for Xenocat to get through and take second place in tonight's race. GG's to Xenocat.
Yeah, GG's Xenocat. Unfortunately, I'm sure not the result they were hoping for. They probably want to finish first, but they still have a shot to make the brackets. They will have another play-in race against Saradin at a time that I'm sure they'll organize at some point. But I'm sure we are looking to see whether Xenocat is up for an interview.
Yeah. And then it's just Saradin. We'll see how long it takes for Saradin to go back to the moon to finish out this seed as well.
Yeah, again, just unfortunate that all the fade that Saradin made on the moon is going to be is in fact what unlocks the rest of the seed. So I think that's all they have left. They have this very much got to do. I think they have Cave Bahamut, and they have the Crystal Sword left. Yeah.
Saradin may still have top of tower, because Saradin did the half tower earlier.
No, Saradin actually went back and did that a lot while doing this review of sylverfyre, so that's been checked.
Okay.
That was definitely a check that I'm sure Saradin did not feel good making, but we're slowly picking our way through this Demus fight.
And now I believe we are joined by Xenocat. Xenocat, GG's on your race tonight. Unfortunately, not a win, but of course you're not eliminated yet. What are your initial thoughts of that race?
Well, I did not race that well at all, and I pretty much knew I'd lost after Demus did not pay off, but yeah, no, you don't, against a runner as good as Sylverfyre, you don't just do a Haunted Fey March, and then after doing a very low-value Eblin Castle, and then win. So
yeah, we were kind of lamenting your trip through Eblin Castle, and when you made the play to go to Feymarch, we're like, oh, this is the place where Xenocat can catch up, and then it turns out they were both nothing, and it's like,
nope.
Oh.
No, if
That's
something
rough.
in there, I would have felt okay, but no, nothing there. And yeah, sorry.
No, you go on. You go on.
No, and then at that point it was like, oh, well, I guess I'm just going through the motions at this point, kind of trying to get through the end of the seed, expecting a dot done at any point, you know.
Yeah. So one of the things that we did discuss a fair bit was early game. So you started off with a Porum, and you got an edge, and you had a starting Magma Key. Talk us through your thoughts about that early game.
I wanted to make sure that I checked Bedward to make sure there was a pan, just to make sure there wasn't a pan, grab that Hobbs character, and then I was like, well, if I have 3 characters, I can maybe do some stuff in the underground. Let's just go dive down there and see what's down there and what I can get, so I can route in Sheila 1 into Fabul and do that all nicely. And as it turned out, bought some full moons because Edge needed weapons at that point. Don't regret it, even though there were plenty of swords later. No regrets.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of a high number of legendary katanas available, wasn't there?
I think I had 4 Masamenes at the end of the seed.
Yeah,
4 Masas, right? 2 Muras, 2 ninja swords, and 2 full moons. Actually, 3 full moons. I had enough weapons to outfit a full team of 5 edges.
Unfortunately, just saw the one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Maybe there's a way to convert Eddie into a ninja. We can always use the spoon.
He's doing so well with the spoon. He was great. Eddie was such a good character, that seed. When I found Spoonward, I felt like, okay, maybe I actually am doing okay, and then Eblin kind of dashed that hope. Seriously, though. What? Why did you have to put all the tier 5 items in Eblin Castle? I don't need a 3rd full moon. I don't need a 2nd heroine robe.
Everyone needs a heroine to help them. Right?
No, I don't need a heroine robe on my Anchor Rydia.
Like, maybe you want a fast anchor.
That's what Porum is for.
Okay, I'll give you that.
That's what the heroine robe on Porum was for fast anchoring. I don't need a 2nd one for Rydia. But yeah, it was just that sort of mid-game stretch from about when I went to Eblin Castle and it didn't pay off all the way through, I'd say, getting through the tower as well, because that Mom Bomb wipe did not leave me feeling well about how I was doing.
No, like, there were just a lot of unfortunate wipes that happened, and that never feels good when you take like that wipe to the Staleman in Eblin also. Oh
yeah. That was so rude. I was like, I'll be fine. I have a Zeus Gauntlet and a Samurai armor on a back row edge. What could go wrong? The sleep block can go wrong.
Basically.
Yeah, 2 words. Fell asleep. It's just
yeah.
I was like, well, I can hope that Edge just doesn't fall asleep one of these hits, or I can reset and try again. Because as soon as I show Eddie is going to get punched and be napping. And Edge is not going to take any damage, but it's going to be very slow getting out of that fight. So I was like, well, it's faster reset. And then it was a full moon, I think.
Yeah.
Because, hooray.
Well, it was
I need
something
more
for
full
Edge,
moons.
that's for sure.
Hmm.
Definitely a full moon then. I did not get any ninja swords out of Evelyn Castle. All my ninja swords came from the treasury and key item checks. And shopping.
Yeah, Tomra with the ninja swords for sale. They're expensive, but so strong.
And I mean, what else? What was I going to use all that heavy armor for? Like, what do I have? What do I need to do with heavy armor? I don't have Kane or Cecil. They don't matter. Who needs heavy armor? Just sell all of it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So obviously you now have a plane race to schedule with Saradin.
Yep.
Do you have you pre-decided when that's going to be done? When that's going to happen?
No. So we're gonna have an interesting scheduling discussion after Saradin finishes.
Yeah.
And it'll be posted somewhere. I'm hoping to get it in this weekend. I mean, I think we're supposed to get it in this weekend, so hopefully it can work.
So is this some? So I don't know. Did you win against Saradin in the group phase?
Yes. So
yes.
I am feeling okay going into this play-in. I mean, I would have rather won tonight, of course, but
yeah,
I don't feel too bad about this play-in. I think Saradin's a strong runner. I can't make the kinds of mistakes I did tonight again, but well, I mean, the routing Edwin clear, I'm okay with. The Mom Bomb wipe and resetting out of Antlion when it was an objective, less okay. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't save scum your objectives. Bad idea.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is yes, agreed. That is a bad idea. Do not. I'm never done that.
On the bright side, I got to go back and do it with 10 key items and a stronger party, and it was faster the second time. But yeah.
It's fair.
Well, I said it to sylverfyre, so I'll say it to you again, or as well. Saradin, sylverfyre, and yourself were my 3 losses in this event to the Crystal Rings. So, if whichever of you and Saradin win the play-in race, I just want you to do the Crystal Ring proud.
I will certainly try. No promises, though. Woobear is scary.
Woobear is scary. Yeah, that is no doubt. So, but I would also say that you're pretty scary as well.
Not
in
if
a good way
tonight.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying that sylverfyre isn't also scary. So, yeah, like there's a lot of good players in Free Enterprise, and I think that
so many.
Did you have any other thoughts about the race or the event? What we've got you here right now?
Shoutouts to Adamant Spoonword for surviving everything and dodging all of those meteos at the end. I was kind of scared.
Yeah, that was at least 2 double-digit meteo dodges. So.
Yeah, it's fine. Edward has double-digit HP. It's fine. Forum was the only one up, but she couldn't heal him because he had a Star Veil on. It's fine. There's no problems. We'll just dodge all the meteos. It's okay.
Yeah, that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for letting us watch your race tonight here, Xenocat.
Yep. Thanks for putting on this show, and shoutouts to Sheep Launcher for pushing all those buttons. I mean, I almost full cleared the seed minus Cave Bahamut, which, based on the spoiler log, I'm glad I didn't even go there because, oh god, that evil wall. And of course, the Barren Basement.
Right, because at that
lots
point,
of buttons.
Yeah.
And shoutouts to Scala for rolling this mess of a seed.
Yeah, this was definitely a proper Scala Kitty class.
Yep. And of course, shoutouts to the two of you for doing fantastic commentary. I'm sure I'll have to watch this back.
Well, you're welcome.
It was our pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
All right, well, that was our second place finisher tonight, Xenocat, who played really well despite having some unfortunate situations early in the seed, like really made up for it and played really well in the back half of that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, if you struggle for that long and then to come back and overtake someone who's been on the moon for that long, that you have to play it. You have to tighten up your game up significantly to get to that point.
And we see Saradin now, after taking the detour to that evil wall, now on the right path facing that Octoman.
Yeah, again, it's just one of those things, like as soon as you leave that crystal sword altar, you kind of feel obliged to check Cape Bahama if that happens to be the answer.
Right.
So essentially doing more checks than I guess all other runners did, but it's given the path that Saradin walked, it makes sense.
Yeah, because it would just not be logical to go back down, like after doing one check on the moon, going back down on the blue planet for one check, and if that missed, have to go back onto the moon for one more check, which would precipitate a trip back to the blue planet to do the Baron keys. So yeah, like routing wise, that made perfect sense, even if it's a bit unfortunate in Saradin's case in this one.
But no, Saradin now has completed being Octoman has his Baron key, is on his way to complete the rest of the seed, and it'll be interesting to see how he handles it, because I can't help but notice that Rydia still only is at level 47. So without a significant grind, is not going to make it to nuke either.
Yeah, we'll definitely see exactly how Saradin plans to take this on. Now, of course, he's got to go. Oh, it looks like it's going to be a little bit of an egg grind, maybe to get to that nuke level.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough. Like, I think if he's been watching the Red Shine, he knows it's just him left. So I may as well just go make sure that this is safe. Well, this is going to be a safe Doremus fight. May as well make sure that we know we're going to get nuke on Rydia and go from there. So I guess we're going to go for hybrid in that case.
Yeah, and I think like at these, based on how this squad is positioned, especially with the levels, there's white on Forum. So yeah, that kind of makes sense that's where Saradin wants to go with this.
Yes, just one more level required on this Rydia, so I think this egg should probably do it. If not, it'd be very close. Which in case, so you have 2 boss fights left, so that should hopefully get you over the line. Yeah, that's it. And there we go. There's our nuke. Cool.
Yep, and right back in the airship. Yep, that's exactly what the plan was there. So, yeah, looking at... Yeah, I imagine it's going to be a hybrid strategy. There is another choice if Saradin wants. Now, he wouldn't know about this yet, but he's going to be offered a Fusia here at Baron and could swap into a full reflex strategy if he wants, and then could pick up an anchor over at Mysidia. I don't know what Saradin's preferences are or anything like that, but that is something that will be available.
That's true. I suppose at that point you might actually ditch the Ed. I'm not sure if he still has the spoon, but he could ditch the Edward, and that way have maybe actually have Fu as our anchor, because we have a curse ring from for the Troyan treasury.
Yeah,
and we could just have a couple of darts from Edward from edge to supplement all the nukes that are coming we're going to have flying.
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways that Saradin could do this, and so it will be interesting to see what is the way that he decides to end this.
But either way, no, I think it's safe to say that no, what's coming up should not be a challenge at all. We're not going the surprise Ogre Pogo is not going to kill the rest of the party because we have just enough hit points for that. So should be getting his crystal in about 2 minutes time.
Yeah, that's like surprise Ogre Pogo.
No one likes surprise Ogre Pogo, unless you want to inflict pain on our runners, like apparently Scarlet Kitty loves to do. And there you go. There goes Ogre Pogo. I don't even think we even saw the waves. Any of the waves. So Saradin is good. That's complete.
Fast enough, yeah.
Again, interesting to see whether he takes this through.
Just interesting. And I think that makes sense. I'm sure Saradin's been thinking about the Z fight with this squad for now. So yeah, that makes sense. Like, it would have been an interesting choice, but this makes sense.
Yeah, it's one of those things that we already decided to get a whole bunch of levels onto our Edward, our Edge. You know, this also works. Like, never really feels good to take a food 2 hours into a seed.
Yeah.
If we told.
Yeah, his advantage is really in the early to mid game. He's not terrible at the end game without a doubt, but like he doesn't present a unique advantage at the end game.
Yeah. I mean, we already have a character who can cast Cure 4 and a character who can cast Nuke. Like that is the advantage of having an early food, is getting to those end game spells while you're still on the blue planet.
Yeah, his the downside is his stats aren't nearly as good, and his MP total is not ideal. There goes the curse ring onto Porum, planning on using her as the anchor.
So I guess we're just going for essentially using this Porum kind of like a you'd normally see a teller, a cursed teller, just having her as a Cure 4 bot, and it'll just be the Cure 4 multi-target will just be a lot more powerful comparatively speaking.
Yeah, may be able to get away, especially after the first nerfed Big Bang, to use a target all Cure 4 to heal up too. Which is something that sometimes a cursed Foo or a cursed Teller will have struggled to do even with a nerfed Big Bang.
Yeah, well, it depends on who has the added armor that Saradin should have.
I think it's Edward.
I mean, it would make sense here. Like, Spoonwood is a very powerful thing to have available, to have access to. So, not too surprising. And yeah, with 1400 hit points, Edward is very healthy at this point.
And here comes the crystal throw.
Yeah, we have to use the Barkus. Probably expect might see a Star Veil from Rydia because it's a bit too early to have her do a direct cast nuke. But then the Barkus one from Eddie should be good, should suffice.
Yeah, there, and that's right, Star Veil. Bacchus, and if there's a Silk Web, that might be Porum's turn.
Or just direct cast slow is not awful either. Should be able to get that in time. So kind of, I guess we don't mind if whoever hits, as long as it's not Edward. Okay, so hits Edge, so we're good. We just get to then just have a video cast nuke, and then we can just have Poem cast Cure 4, and we're rinse and repeat
And
between.
we're pretty much good for the seed, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things I do find interesting is just the and this basically comes down to really emphasize the struggles that our runners just faced on that moon. Is the large spread of times between Silt and Saradin's Xenocat's first and second being what 17 minutes, and then another what 20 plus minute gap between Xenocat and Saradin. That's actually very surprising to me, given how how close this group ended up being in the first place.
Yeah.
So you see that multi-target Cure 4 only healed us for what, about 1,000 per person. Again, it's just one of the things where they have the cursor on Poem. Cure 4 is not going to do as much as you'd normally see. Might be better off single targeting hits moving forward.
Or use a single target Cure 3, which is still more than enough to fully heal Edward for like 22 less MP.
Yeah,
Edge,
the only
not
downside.
Edward.
Yeah, I guess the only downside for that would be is the cast time, but either way, we're into the home stretch at this point. Like, so by looks of it, given that spoon only swung for 3k, I'm going to guess that the armor is actually on edge at this point.
That may be, yeah. Because you do normally expect Adamant Spooner to be in like the 5k damage range.
Yeah, you're just getting so many multipliers with that armor. You're getting about 3, so that's about
That may be the power shirt on Edward.
The thing is, I actually thought I saw the power shirt being inside his inventory, so he might not be wearing anything at all. But that's
Those are rocks. Cursed Poem, only one who takes damage from rocks. She really is cursed, isn't she? And down goes Zeromus.
Yeah, GG to Saradin, finishing with time of 2 hours, 19 minutes and 56 seconds. GG's, and that was just a rough one. So we will
we'll see if Saradin wants to join for an interview. Yeah.
But if they do not, then that no shame for not wanting to. This was a rough one. I'd probably, if in that position, I would not fault anyone for wanting to burn that seed from memory.
And I believe we are now joined by Saradin. Saradin, GG's on this one. Bit of a rough race tonight, huh?
Yeah, that moon was real rude. I think I get bit badly by having exactly 9 key items there. If I had had either more or less, I just would have popped all the sirens on the way down. I was just trying to be like, I'm 1 key item away. Maybe one of these bosses is free and I can get to 10 before grinding. And that was just not going to work out with this setup.
Yeah, you played really aggressively to try to take down those moon bosses a bit earlier than maybe you bit off a little bit more than you could chew right there. But to be fair, those bosses were really tough.
Yeah, that was the rudest collection of moon bosses I've seen in a while.
and like even the I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen Mylon and friends at the Mazamune altar, but man, even those lit ones were hitting pretty strong.
Yeah, I should have realized that Eddie was getting hit for 1 because of the Protect Ring and just shifted that over to Edge earlier. and that would have actually gotten me my 10 key items. So, live and learn.
Well, and you do have time to learn because you are not eliminated from this. You do have basically another rematch against Xenocat to schedule now for the play-in race.
Yep. That should be an interesting one. Our first race was, I think, about a 5-minute difference, so not out of the realm of possibility. I'm looking forward to a rematch.
And yeah, so what were your thoughts in the early part of this?
I thought the early part went reasonably well. Fading Ordeals was definitely not the right play, since we had that required darkness crystal there. But given how rude that moon was, getting it earlier doesn't particularly help much. I did like checking the super cannon room on the way out of the underground that first time. If the hook had shown up earlier, then that pink tail would have been a nice reward. But it doesn't work out that way sometimes.
Yeah, that was something Infinius and I both mentioned, that if you end up getting the Earth Crystal early, this could be a huge advantage for you. Yeah, and it's like that's one of those things where sometimes the randomizer rewards you with something like that, and other times it's like, not too bad. You got to do a lot of work to get that hook today.
Yeah.
So, did you have any other final thoughts on tonight's race?
No, I think that's about it. Thanks to the Restream team, as usual, for putting on a great show.
All right, well, thank you for watching. GG's and good luck in your play-in race against Xenocat.
Thanks.
All right, and that was tonight's third place runner, Saradin. Right now, we are going to go ahead and head you on over to the Free Enterprise Twitch channel for the play-in for the Blitzwhip group, Sorbius versus Y2 Sky. Right before we go, just want to thank you one more time for watching us, and thanks to both Scala Kitty and Sheep Launcher for doing the restream and tracking, respectively. And to my co-commentator, Infinius, it's really fun to call a race with you today.
This is a great time. This was a very interesting race to talk about. I'm glad I did it with you, Rex.
All right. Once again, thanks everybody for watching, and hope you have a good night now.